All right, today I want to show you 4 different ways to use a PowerPoint within Schoology for Kids. So we're going to talk about how you can use it as sharing the file as a PDF, sharing the file as a link that the kids can download and access, and then lastly, embedding the file. So let's take a look at some of those different things. So here we go. Here is the PowerPoint that I have. I am in Office 365 online. Now my PowerPoint is kind of complicated, and that's the reason why I want to show this with kind of a complicated one, because depending on how you share the PowerPoint, you're going to lose certain features if you do it in a certain way. So take a look. Here's my PowerPoint. It's 6 pages long. You can see in the bottom right, you can see my picture there. Why? Because in this PowerPoint, I have embedded the presentation. So when a kid is in here and this is really made for teachers, but when someone's in there and they click on it, they can play the video. So they will hear my information that I have in there. So that's an important thing, because if you have videos embedded in your PowerPoint, or like my page 5 here, I've got a YouTube video embedded, and on page 6, I've got some links embedded. So depending on how we share this, we may lose some of those features. So let's first look at Schoology. So here I am in Schoology in my dummy course, and that just means that it's a practice course. It doesn't mean that I'm a dummy or that you're a dummy. Okay, so here we are, and we know that we normally share these things through Add Materials. So let me just show you an example of a couple of these problems that you might run in. So one way to share it, the first way is to share it as a file. So if I go up here to Materials, and I go to Add File Link, I click here, and I can go in and I can click on File, and I can find it in my browser, file browser. I hit Attach, I go to my downloads, I find the document there. It's going to shuffle here real quick. I find the document here, and I share that PowerPoint that way with the kids. Right now, one thing I found is, and I'll show you this. Now, I shared this as a file about 15 minutes ago. It'll show up down here at the bottom. Here it is right here. It looks like this. And like I said, I shared this about 15 minutes ago. Now, the purpose of the Schoology browser is to give kids who don't have, maybe they don't have PowerPoint or they don't have PDF readers, gives them a chance to see the document, right? So it's a browser that handles lots of different types of documents. So I shared this as a PDF or as a PowerPoint about 10 minutes ago, maybe more than 10 minutes ago. Honestly, it was more than 10 minutes ago. It's still converting it. So if you're doing things quickly during the day, you're going to have to wait and make sure. I find that kind of frustrating. The other thing that's frustrating about this is that once you so let's just look at an example of a PowerPoint. So here's what the PowerPoint might look like that I'm intending to share, right? It might look like this, right? So I've got, some pictures on there. I can see on here, it says Lamarck's mistakes. I can see Lamarck at the bottom, etc. So that's what it should look like. But sometimes in the PowerPoint browser, it's actually going to look like this. And you can see how that conversion has jumbled that document, and it has caused that picture and text to change shape and move. And what happens because of that is it's confusing to the kids, right? So going back to my PowerPoint that's on here, a couple things. One is that, I would only use that browser as a last resort. There are definitely some other options. One option is when I'm in PowerPoint that I can save this as a PDF. Now, this one wouldn't be ideal for this because I have videos embedded. But if I want to use it as a PDF, I would just go to File, and instead of downloading a copy, which I shared before, I would go and share it as a PDF. Now, let's look at the PDF version. So here I am again. I'm going to go back to my course. And the PDF version is nice if it's very much just text, right? So if I just have text that I want to share, the PDF is going to be great. But you'll notice, here's my PDF that I shared. You'll notice when we look at the PDF that pretty much nothing works. So PDF is great for not garbling up the things on the page, but PDF is not great if I have a lot of stuff embedded. So taking a look at this, now first of all, always remind the kids that they can download the actual file from the browser right here. So in the example of that first one with the jumbled text, they could download this and open it up in PowerPoint and it would relieve some of those things. So here is the PDF as here's the PowerPoint as a PDF. Now you can see it looks pretty nice. I can scroll through the pages. I could even make it full size, whatever, but you'll notice that nothing happens when I click on the video. I can't click on the video to hear me talk on any of these pages. I also, if I get to my last page with the links, I cannot click on those. You cannot click on those and get them to open up. So it kind of eliminates that. So it'll fix the problems with things getting shuffled around, but it won't fix the problems with links and videos embedded into the file. So let's look at the next way to do it. So back in my PowerPoint here, I can share it as a link. And this is a great way to do it because remember, all the kids have access to Office 365. So if they're signed into their account, they can open these things up and manipulate them, etc. So I can go up here to File. And what I want to do is I want to go here to Share. And I want to share it with people. And I'm going to click on that and the dialog is going to pop up. Now it's going to ask me for a couple things. One is the options of who can view this. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to choose from 4 options. Specific people, so I would email this to a particular person right from the program. People with existing access, so that would be if I create this new in a folder that people have access to. People with Buffalo Public Schools with the link. That works for anybody signed into BPS. I would say I would always prefer that I would just click on anyone with a link. That way anybody that clicks on this can open it up. As long as you don't click the allow editing, no one's going to go in there and mess it up. They're always going to open it up as a copy. You could also go in here and set expiration dates, etc. So I'm going to click anyone with a link, hit apply. Now it's giving me the option to type in somebody's email, but I just want to get a link. So I'm going to click on copy link, get the link here. I'm going to hit copy. My link is copied. Now I'm going to go back to Schoology, go back to my materials page. And once I get to the materials page, now I'm going to go to add materials, but instead of adding it as a file, I'm going to add it as a link. So I'm in add materials and I'm going to click on the same button, file, link, external tool, but now I'm going to click on the middle one, link. And now I am going to put this in here. Put it in as a link. I am going to put my title in here, which was preparing for hybrid instruction. Right? Preparing for hybrid instruction. Then I've got some options here. I always click on display in new window. If you don't do that and the browser can't handle it, it may give you that sad face. So I always click on display in new window. That's always your best option. I can also decide when to publish it, and I can also copy it to other courses. So now I'm going to hit add, and now I'm going to see it published in here as a link. So it's going to take a minute for it to load. All right, now I'm going to go to the bottom of my page, and here it is, preparing for hybrid instruction. Now when I click on the link, it's going to open in a new page. So you can see it opened a new page, and it's going to open it up to that link. So anybody who signed into Office, it's automatically going to open that in here. So now the kids could do this here. Now they have it. You're going to see in a moment that it says at the top whether to allow editing or not. It's going to say that they can edit. They could save a copy of it. This is their file to do with as they please now. Much better than the first 2 options. Now there is a third option as well for saving things in PowerPoint for the kids to view. So let's go back to our original PowerPoint here and let's look at it in embed view. So what happens when I'm embedding something? So when I'm embedding it, I'm putting the file right into the web page in the viewer. But this viewer is going to be different because it's going to be pulling it from the program itself and not pulling it from that Schoology browser. So this is going to be our best option, I think, because it also will give you the option to download. So if I go to File, now what I want to do is same thing, go File to Share, but instead of Share with people, I'm going to click on Embed. So I'm going to click on Embed, and now it's going to give me my PowerPoint up here. You're going to probably also hear it. You could hear, if I had the sound on, you would also hear me talking over this, because when it embeds, it's going to play the presentation, right? So I've got my slides in here. Now I've got some options. I found that this 962 by 556 or 565 is the best option. That's the size. In the browser window, this one will look nice. And then what I can also, if in some cases, I can have some different interactive things here, like enable them to download and stuff like that. I just leave this as the default, right? And then I'm going to click on this, and I am going to copy, Control-C, and now I'm going to go to Schoology, and now I'm going to embed this in as a page. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to click on Add Materials. Then I'm going to click on Add Page. So what this is doing is it's adding a web page into Schoology. So I click on Add Page. Now I'm going to get this dialog pop up. This is one that you're probably familiar with. It looks like your assignments and things like that that you post. So I am going to add a title. I am going to keep it the same as my PowerPoint presentation. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to embed this in here. If I wanted to add some text, I could. I could say, please view the PowerPoint in this page, right? Okay, so I could say that, but what I really want to do is I want to use this option here, which is to insert content. I'm going to click on Insert Content, and what I want to do is I want to click on Image or Media. Now remember that I've already got this embed code copied. Now I can upload media, so if I wanted to upload a video or something in there, I could do it that way. But I can also click on From the Web, and that's what we're going to do here today. Click on From the Web, and then it's going to give me the option of an image or a media. I'm going to click on Media, and now I'm going to paste the embed code in here and hit Insert Media, and it's going to throw the PowerPoint into this page. Now I am going to go down to the bottom, and what I like to do also, again, always is click on Display on New Page, which I prefer that one. Then I'm going to click on Create. So this is going to embed my PowerPoint into a web page that will display in Schoology. So here I am in my materials. If I go all the way down to the bottom, I can see that here. The kids can click on it, and it will open in a new page. You'll see that the video will play. So you can see the video is playing right now. They can hear that on their side of things, right? They can also click down here, and they can download a copy of the presentation. They can print it to PDF. They can do a bunch of stuff there. They can click here and scroll through and see all of the videos, see how it automatically plays when it goes to the next slide. And if they go to slide 5, where I had my YouTube video, they can click on this and they can watch the YouTube video right inside of the presentation. So that works perfectly. And on slide 6, where I embedded those links, they can also click and they can go to those links by clicking on the PowerPoint. So you can see, I think I've made a pretty good case that embedding the video for the kids is probably the best way. And why do I say that? Because if you give them the link and they open it up, then they need to know that they need to go into the presentation mode to see it. So here they are, and here if they open this up, they would need to know that they would have to go up to present to see the video play and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if it's embedded in there, it's just going to do that automatically. So I would highly recommend that you try to embed this in as a page. and see how that works out for you. So there you go. Hope it works. If you need help, let me know. Take care.